Good morning, Vietnam. Like Scott. What's up, friends, family, and faithful viewers of Opinions Mostly podcast? Good to have us with you today. Let's do a little vote here real quick. How many of you would like us to do this earlier, like on a Tuesday? Raise your hand.
Me, for sure.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Me for sure, Nick.
Please leave in the comments when you would most like to have us release one of these and record one of these. I know we always do it on the weekends. We work. It's tough out here. And speaking of working, we got my man right across from me, directly in the classroom. Another fruit, Joe Rich Boy Smallery.
Nick, I'm always working, but I can find time to do the things I need to. So this sounds like an excuse on your part. As you can see, I'm clearly in the classroom setting because I'm always thriving for knowledge and learning.
And you're fruit, so it makes sense because it's fruit.
It was the only default I could find, so shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe, I appreciate you being here with me today. Let's jump right into it. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA because we have not yet. I mean, it's still football season, takes priority, don't get me wrong. But something big happened, obviously, with Kyrie and the Nets. What you got, Joe?
I mean, nothing surprises me anymore with Kyrie Irving. He's been doing these antics for years and years and years. When it started saying the earth was flat, the world is controlled by the Illuminati and things of that nature, taking time off from the team without excuse. It's been a long laundry list, and it's finally coming back to bite him in the ass. He's been able to get away with it for so long because of how talented he is and how much of an asset he is. And that goes for any sports team. If you're good enough to be on the field, people will overlook your transgressions. I think there's a quarterback in Cleveland that follows that same criteria, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Kyrie Irving just falls in that. Yeah, Kyrie Irving just falls into that routine, or that falls into that category. And we finally got an owner in the NBA, Joe Tsai, finally taking a stand and not letting the players run the team anymore. And he's like, no. So he's suspended for a minimum of 5 games, and the Nets could suspend him for more, depending on how they feel his progression is with his anti-Semitism views.
So, and Nike did suspend their relationship with him, just so everyone knows.
What's that?
Nike suspended their relationship.
Yep, Nike did yesterday. So. That was no surprise.
Well, what is a surprise actually about all this is that even LeBron James has said, how come the NBA players haven't spoken out against Kyrie? Which blows my mind because LeBron James doesn't do anything.
LeBron James is selective with his noise. Yeah. He chooses which topics to elevate to his Twitter followers of 30 million or whatever. He's very selective with his noise. So, and he's been advocating to get Kyrie to the Lakers. So that's another reason why he doesn't want to bury that relationship. And I guarantee you, Kyrie's NBA career is completely in jeopardy. He's on the last year of his deal, albeit making $37 million.
Yeah, right.
But the only team that's going to potentially pick him up is the Lakers, and that's because LeBron James will be pushing for that to happen.
I don't know if he will, because he's trying to get NBA players to be like, hey, let's call this guy out. So that's why I'm surprised.
Like I said, LeBron is very selective with his
I remember I'm not a fan of LeBron at all, and I remember last year when he was like walking off courts because he was losing like halfway through the game. I was like, what kind of example are you setting for the kids that like are watching you? And no one seems to care. They're like, it was wrong. He shouldn't have done that. But let's
once again, he's able to get away with it because he's part of that 1% of the NBA players.
Yeah, I know.
Transcended global, viewership and jersey sales, Nike shoe sales, everything. So once again, the money talks more than the actual issue.
It's ridiculous. But speaking of bye now and see you later, Kyrie, we're going to go right into the NFL and our bye weeks. Just so everyone knows, we got the Broncos, the Browns, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Steelers, and the Niners all on a bye this week. Change your fantasy football teams if you have any of those players. If you don't care, then leave them in and make sure you're playing me because I can use the help.
Or me, because I need the wins.
Yeah, actually, you really do. You're sucking in some of our leagues.
Don't get tired, man.
Another topic here of bye, see you later. How about Dan Schneider? He's finally getting ready to sell the team. He's been called out on his BS too many times.
I think it's finally gotten to the point where it's gotten to the breaking points. Like NFL owners have been able to tolerate with his BS for however long it's been, since he's owned the team. I think it was early to mid 90s when he acquired the team, if I recall that correctly. He's pulled a lot of stunts. He's pulled a lot of just, mind-blowing thing. All these sexual allegations in the workplace, hostile work environments with the Redskins and Commanders. I mean, now you got a federal panel. You got a federal, federal judiciary panel looking into another issue with the Commanders right now. And then the fact that he was fixing his books to make it look like he made less money than he did like a season or two ago, so he didn't have to pay the rest of the owners in the league their fair share of the revenue.
He's owned what was the Redskins, or what is the Redskins now, the Commanders, since 1999.
99, yeah, okay. And I think it's just time. I think he finally sees the writing on the wall, especially with Jerry Jones for sure wants him out. We all know that. The owner of the Colts, I forgot his Jim Irsay, he called him out publicly, and I think
I want this to all happen rather quickly, and I want to know the dirt that he has.
I know. I'm
excited. I'm honestly, like, I'm not one for celebrity drama, but when it comes to football drama, let's go. What you got? What do you got? I want to know about Jerry Jones and his creepy little.
Well, here's the thing: if he voluntarily sells the team, he won't have the dirt come out on him. But then once he's out of the league and he sells his team for, I guess it's estimated to be worth $5.3 billion or something like that. I mean, he might just do a tell-all book in like 5 years after he sells the team.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I was thinking about doing that at work, like once I quit and retire, I'm like, oh, hey, guess what? Luke Bryan doesn't wash his feet. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true.
And here's the thing is, for the longest time, they said they were not going to change the team name, and then they did. And then for the longest time, they said, we're never going to sell the team. You're going to have to, it's going to be in my family for generations and generations. And now this news comes out. Yeah. We still don't know if he wants to just sell a minority share or the whole thing. But the fact that he's even considering it is.
I heard no minority shares. So that's what I've been reading lately. If I was his kid, I'd be pissed. But let's move on.
He'd probably keep a small share for the family.
I mean, you would hope so. But also, he's clearly unstable. So you never know what he could do. Sure. Speaking of unstable, how about Geno Smith and the Seahawks? How we feel about them? I mean, I love Geno. I think Geno's great, honestly. And I don't like the Seahawks organization. So he could be a Packer. That'd be great.
I like Geno as a person. He's come full circle since his time in New York and getting drafted there. I hate the Seahawks, though. The Seahawks, I hate that organization as well.
Yeah.
It's good. It's great to see the growth that Geno Smith's been able to do. I've been watching a couple of sports shows, and they said, when they sit down and talk to Geno, it's just more about his growth as a player and as an individual into the league. He's been in the league for 12 seasons, 13 seasons now, and he's finally really realizing his talent and being able to persevere and have the ability. He quotes his time in San Diego being the backup to Phillip Rivers for a year and learning how he preps for the game with game week with the film, everything like that. And he's been sitting behind Russell Wilson for 3 years. I don't know if you knew this, but before this year, he's been with the Seahawks for about 3 or 4 years, but every single year it's been a 1-year deal. He's been voluntarily re-signing with them, and even with Russell Wilson struggling, I'm sure his game prep is right there with the top of the league.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he seems like a great guy, and watching him play, he's not terrible. He's definitely beats a lot of the people that are starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Speaking of starting quarterbacks, and the Cardinals, they're playing. Excuse me, they're playing the Cardinals this week. Kyler Murray. Which quarterback do you think is going to be dominant? How close do you think this game's going to be? Because I could actually see this going in Seattle's favor. I think it's like 3.5. It's probably pretty close.
Division game, so it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, and I mean, Call of Duty did just come out, so
I was just going to bring that up. I mean, well, the Cardinals are at home, so I mean, Kyler Murray can just go home Saturday night after the walkthroughs and just hop on multiplayer. The line is 2. Arizona's the favorite by 2.
Kyler needs to hire a body double, and then he can just be like, "Oh yeah, you got to go to practice for me today." And
no. You're not wrong on that, man.
Yeah,
listen, awesome. I think it'll be a close one for sure. I mean, Cardinals are still trying to find themselves with D-Hop coming back into the lineup. This will be his 3rd week back from his 6-game suspension. The Cardinals and then the Seahawks are just rolling. I mean, they are just rolling. They don't have any. DK Metcalf's doing his thing. Tyler Lockett is doing his thing. Actually, I think DK is out for the season or something, right?
Something happened, yeah. Not the season, but
he's out for an extended period of time. It could be a close one. I could see either team winning, but I think it'd be more eye-raising to see the Seahawks win on the road. The Cardinals are supposed to be that team with that guy, with Kyler Murray and D-Hop, that 1-2 connect. But they're still trying to find themselves. They should have won in Minnesota last week, but they shot themselves in the foot a couple times.
Who's their tight end? The Seahawks?
Noah
Fant?
Yeah, Noah Fant.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I always believed in him too when he was on Denver.
Oh, he was great. I mean, he was kind of outside of Russell Wilson. I think it was just Drew Lock and Noah Fant, the center point of the trade, because I think the Seahawks saw Drew Lock eventually as that guy if they can get him in there. But then, the rest.
Let me correct this real quick here, Joe. Actually, DK Metcalf has a knee injury, but he is active. Wait, what?
Okay.
It says he's active as of 18 hours ago.
Okay.
They're out the injury report. Marquise Goodwin is ruled out for the game, but both Metcalf and Lockett are in.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, that'll be an interesting game. Honestly, that could be an upset alert right there.
I need to see the Cardinals win so that the Rams still have a chance to get back into the division.
Ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Are the Giants overrated? Let's just be honest, straight up. Are they overrated? Yes or no?
I don't think they're overrated. I think they're exceeding expectations that we placed on them before the season started, and that goes the same with the Jets. I think they're exceeding expectations. I don't think they're overrated.
So you think they're
finding ways to win games, and if you look at the New York Giants, the only games they lost to were the Cowboys in division game, and then the Seahawks, which is like the surprise team of the year.
Yeah. Well, they're on a bye, so they'll have plenty of time to make sure to bask in the glory that they're living in. I don't think they're overrated either. I would say no. They're rated just where they need to be. But I'm not a huge fan of Giants. Never have been, and all their fans are trash anyways. So come at me, bro. Come at me.
This has nothing to do with Brett Favre's last year in Green Bay at the walk-off field goal in the NFC Championship game when the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
No, I just don't like Giants fans. I think that's what it is. A bunch of trash.
And New Yorkers in general, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard if you think about it. All right. The trade deadline just happened, as we know. There's obviously some winners and obviously some losers. The Dolphins are a fantastic organization. The Dolphins are doing everything I wish the Packers would do, except they're just doing everything better. Like every single damn thing. We are just terrible. Obviously, the Packers didn't get anybody. We didn't do diddly squat. There was not a guy old enough and retired to bring back and onto our team, and there's not a guy young enough and inexperienced that we could just pick up. So that's pretty standard as well. And then the one thing that really pissed me off was that even the Vikings got Hawkinson, and they got it from a division rival. They got it from a division rival. What the hell, dude?
I'm still trying to figure out why the Lions traded away Hawkinson. I mean, more specifically though, in division.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. In our division, so frustrating. So frustrating.
I don't get that move at all. The only thing I could think is the Lions are just kind of semi-tanking for next year, and they see the writing on the wall, and they know they can get some assets from Hawkinson. That's the only thing I could see. But I don't know why they would send him to Minnesota though. And
that's what I'm so stuck on the damn Packers just being a bunch of fuck ups right now. We should have just traded Rodgers away, because it seems like that's what we're doing right now. We're literally we're planning his demise yet again. It's like we're not going to help him.
There was a conspiracy theory that Michael Irving brought up that the Packers are setting Rodgers up for failure.
Then I have to, for the first time in my life, I have to agree with Michael, because I don't agree with him on anything he says.
Listen, I heard through a couple of different syndicates that the Packers know who they are, and they know that they aren't one piece away from being a contender or trying to get back into the Super Bowl this year. So they're just kind of playing the cards that they have, playing with the cards that they have, playing with the deck that they have. And next year they're allegedly going to be revamping the team for sure. And then some of the blame is put on the wide receivers for not developing as quickly as they thought they would be. But you could also say it's coaching, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's it's all those things, and it's the fact that, like you just said, yeah, we're trying to rebuild it. We're waiting until next year. Why not just start rebuilding right now? We already are where we're at, and we're not going to get any better.
Well, the only player that was out there worth a trade value was Brandon Cooks in Houston, and I feel like the reason why the Packers, held up was because for a couple of reasons. The Packers do not like to trade for big name talent players. They like to grow. They're like the Dallas Cowboys. They like to draft well and grow their own internal talent. And I think Brandon Cooks would kind of throw a wrench in that. Plus, Brandon Cooks also has a guaranteed $18 million cap hit next year, whether or not
that's all fine and everything, but we never do that, like you just said, and we never improve. So I mean, what's the law? Well,
maybe they could draft a wide receiver in the first round.
Oh my gosh, like they're like, oh yeah, it takes maybe like 3 years for them to like live up to their full potential, and then we have just a bunch of newbies, and it's like, okay, well, 3 years is 3 football seasons.
In 3 years, Rodgers is gone.
Yeah, it's man, just so frustrating.
Back to the Hawkinson thing. It makes sense why Minnesota drafted for him, because I don't know if you've been noticing, but a lot of teams have been locking down Justin Jefferson. Like, that is the game plan. So if you bring in Hawkinson to run the middle of the field as a tight end would normally be, hopefully that relieves some of the pressure that Jefferson's under and just opens up a couple more opportunities for him.
Well, and that's the thing with the Vikings. That's why I'm so irritated too. Is the Vikings look dangerous, man? They
very talented skill position players, Thielen, Jefferson,
and everybody laughed at me when I drafted Kirk Cousins, and I said, "Who's laughing now, biatch?"
I didn't laugh.
Yeah, whatever. You give me a hard time. Even Scott was like, "What the hell are you doing drafting Kirk Cousins?" I was like, "He's your quarterback."
Scott just has no faith in his quarterback for whatever reason. No. Fantasy wise, he has no faith. But then he will talk your head off about how his primetime record is completely skewed to make it look like it's one thing when it's not.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on Scott. All right, biggest threat to the Eagles. Do we even have one?
I got 2 actually.
Really? Who?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Well, okay, sure. I guess
the Dallas Cowboys.
I guess we just rode them pretty hard. So
yeah, and the Dallas Cowboys. I have them as another threat.
I still don't think they're going to match up to Dallas, because, in my opinion, Dallas is the only thing it's really got going for them is its defense. Yeah, its offense is good.
Well,
above average, but
hold on here. The first time they played, they were playing with conservative Cooper Rush. So obviously they're run dominant, run extreme. So
I don't believe in Dak Prescott, bro. He is overrated.
Hold on. They're getting their other offensive lineman back. Michael Gallup is finally coming around a little bit here offensively. I think, once they have a healthy squad at the end of the season, they can give the Eagles a run for their money.
When you give Dak Prescott more time in the pocket, he makes more mistakes. I'm just going to point that out, because now you're going to see it. You're going to see it happen. So, yeah, they get their offensive lineman back. Congratulations. Now you're just going to make more mistakes.
Also, I think I want to say maybe Tampa. No,
Tampa's garbage, trash. They're the Aaron Rodgers. It's Packers number 2.
Yeah, I mean, if Tampa was healthy and right, they could be, but yeah, right now it's probably just the Cowboys and the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Top of the NFC right now, those 3 teams.
I think if they beat Dallas in a couple weeks, they'll go undefeated. I'm calling it right now. This is my bold prediction of the year. The Eagles go undefeated.
I have them losing at least 1 game.
I don't know, man.
Maybe 2.
I have the Fly Eagles fly faith, and all this Always Sunny in Philadelphia is just running through my veins. All right,
Rob's ready.
Let's keep moving. Man. I know exactly.
Rob
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Like, he'll go down and watch the Super Bowl again and do the whole thing, and maybe do the podcast from there. That'd be sick. Anyways, we were just talking about Tampa Bay, so let's continue talking about Tampa Bay. They play the Rams. Your Rams. Your failing Rams. Overrated Rams. Oh, there we go. Overrated Rams. I like that. Joe, who's going to bounce back this week? Is it the Rams or Tampa Bay?
Not to sound biased, but I think the Rams will be bouncing back.
I mean, if you said
a couple more pieces back from IR this week, and Tampa just lost their best pass rusher for the year. I forget his name.
And if you said Tampa Bay, you would be Very insulting to your own organization. Just go ahead.
Yeah, and Tampa lost their left guard again. I think he's injured again this week. So I mean, the fact that they're losing and then here's the thing, both teams fucking suck at running the ball. They're both 31st and 32nd in the league in running. So maybe one off, and I think the Rams' offensive line is just slightly better than Tampa's offensive line right now, with all the holes that we have as well. And with how bad the offensive line is, Aaron Donald is going to be finger licking good getting into there.
Let me ask you about that real quick. Under over 2.5 sacks for Donald.
I'm gonna say, let's go over, baby. Let's go over. Let's take the over, baby.
All right, you heard it here first.
Only by a half sack.
Only by a half sack. Go ahead.
I think just because of those particular issues with how bad Tampa's offensive line is, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd will be feasting. Tampa losing their best pass rusher for the year. I just think that those couple of things, I think the Rams could sneak out of there with like a 22-19 win.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it could definitely be close. I think, once again, this is a weekend for both Brady and Rodgers that they need to prove themselves. So if they fail, either one of them, it's obviously going to make a huge impression. And that's going to be.
I also want to mention, I'm curious how much more emotional baggage Brady is carrying with his recent divorce and
he's got
personal problems. How much that might be affecting him.
It's weighing down on him. I mean, you've seen the guy; he looks sick.
Yeah,
he looks like a Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh,
Matthew McConaughey. We need to get a picture of those. Put those two pictures up next to each other.
Oh man, that'd be great.
On the podcast right now, Joe. Do it on here.
I also think on that note, I think the Packers bounce back for sure this week against the Lions.
I'm hoping so too. The problem with the Lions is their high scoring offense. They score a lot, and Swift is back. Who
did they just trade though?
Who
did they just trade away? Hawkinson, man.
So what? That doesn't okay. I don't even think I would like to. I'm gonna look up his stats, but they got D Swift back, dude. Swifty is like the one of the best running backs in the league when he's healthy.
Yeah, if you load up on the offensive line, you stop the rush, and you gotta make Goff make the decision, and boom, there's an interception right there.
Hey, I mean, I want that to happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm agreeing with you, but by the way, Cam Akers, what was that whole drama? He said he didn't want to play or something, and then he got benched, and there was like a bunch of fallout. Is that why he's not good this year?
Well, part of the issue, like I said, is the offensive line. The offensive line cannot run block at all for shit this season right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was allegedly some kind of like minor fallout between him and the organization, and then they both mutually decided to search for a best option to trade him to. But then they didn't trade him, and they brought him back into the organization, and I guess they had a heart-to-heart talk, and he's kind of back in and realigned with the team and the core values and stuff. He was not on IR. He is set to play this weekend, and I saw some Rams reports off the field. They're like, it was nice to see Cam back out there, putting in the work, smiling, laughing, just having a good time out on the practice field. So maybe they're able to repatch it together for sure.
Good.
Personally, I think Cam Akers is a solid running back. Is he a Derrick Henry or an Aaron Jones? No.
Right.
But if we can get a solid run block scheme going with the offensive line, he can definitely do some damage.
Yeah. I mean, I like him too. I thought he was going to be big. I'm glad I didn't draft him though. Let me tell you, I almost did.
Oh, I know. I agree.
Bad. Just so everyone knows, TJ Hawkinson this year has only had 19 receptions and 3 touchdowns. Not impressive stats over the course of 6 games.
That's saying something when he's like their number 2 receiver on the team, though.
Yeah. When you put it that way. Go Pack, go. That's all we got about that. Let's go. Titans at the Chiefs, giving away 12.5. It's a pretty large spread, but Tannehill is a game time decision. Which means Malik Willis might have to step up and play.
I think the Titans get the brakes blown off them, just like how they did with the Bills earlier this year. We obviously know the top of the AFC is the Chiefs and the Bills. There's no question about that. You can probably throw Joey Burrow in there as a consolation third place prize.
No,
but I think they're just gonna get the brakes blown off them, unless they have a steady run attack and whoever's quarterbacking can take advantage of the play action in the Chiefs secondary. But
yeah, they'll have to figure something out to be strong, because 12.5 points seems like a lot, but when you put it against the Chiefs, it turns into 3.5 points.
yeah, I know, and like the Chiefs, the way they played against the Niners a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah. So we kind of both agree.
Are we covering or no?
The Chiefs should. No, I don't think so. Well, okay. Here's what I think. If Tannehill plays, and like you said, they expose the play action, they use the play action, it's possible that they cover. But without knowing if Tannehill's going to start, that is an unsafe bet. That's an unsafe bet.
Yep, that's a very unsafe bet.
I like the points though. I mean, shoot, if he was playing, I'd definitely take it.
Oh yeah.
We got 2 more segments, Joe. Let's get our facts entirely. Facts entirely. What you got for us this week?
Well, speaking of these large point spreads and whether or not you should take the points or you just stay away from them, the largest point spread in NFL history came when the Denver Broncos were favored by 26.5 over the Jacksonville Jaguars back in 2013. So this was Peyton's second to last year in Denver. And this was before Jacksonville got good and went to the AFC championship game against Brady and the Patriots. So the Jags did cover, falling 35-19, though.
Damn, I would have taken those points for sure.
I'd say at 26.5, I think you definitely take the points.
Yeah,
right?
if you don't, then like, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good bet. 26.5 points. Now I'm going to be on the lookout for like a 27.5 points. So I can just.
I think the only time you don't take 26.5 points is when it's a college game, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because college games. I mean, there's some on there. Like I'm betting a little college today, and it's like plus 32. I'm like,
the Georgia, like Georgia against Duke or something,
Yeah, and whenever I do that, you know what I do is I just take the money line on the team that's giving up the 32 points. I'm like, oh, those guys are definitely gonna win.
That's fair. No, it's very cool.
All right. Last but not least. I don't like you doing it.
I know you're just another copyright hold on our videos.
Well, we're just we're blown up, man. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever. The shark bet of the week.
Shark bet of the week.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
So I've been riding pretty consistently. I only give one bet on this podcast, but I pretty much bet several times a weekend. I've been riding right around the $100 mark. I put in $100. I'm just been riding it out, winning, losing. I'm using the FanDuel. FanDuel is doing like little promotions all the time and boosts. There's some good ones on there. So I'll throw $50 just to get my money back from all the losses. This one right now, though, might be controversial. Remember, I am not liable for your guys' decisions. If you watch football, you might know better than I do. I don't bet with my heart. That's why I did not bet on the Packers. So
should have this week.
No, I don't. No, because that's what happens. I bet on them, and then they get their ass creamed. It's like, oh, they should win this game, and it's like, oh my god. Anyways, this week I got the New York Jets plus 11.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I'm taking the 11.5. I think it's actually up to 12.5 points now.
No, it's down. It's still 11.5.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Just giving 11.5. Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm taking the points because obviously the Jets, they're fire. They have the ability to slow down the Bills, is what I think, or at least keep up with them, one way or the other. Either way you want to cut it.
Well, here's the thing with Zach Wilson taking a step back last week. He's going to give the Bills defense some opportunities for some pick sixes.
Yeah, and he's trying to impress Giselle, so he's going to show up.
Exactly.
Show up and show out. So I got them, 11.5, and then I got the Miami Dolphins against the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields has been warming up and whatnot, but the Dolphins are the Dolphins, and right now I think they're the best organization in the NFL. When I say organization, I don't mean team, I mean organization, which goes a long way when you're running your team.
I disagree. I think the Eagles did a really good job with building around Fields.
You're entitled to your opinion, but it's wrrong. That's why it's an opinion.
Dolphins are a close second, I'll give you
that. Okay, all right. And then I'm adding the Minnesota Vikings with the money line against the Commanders. They're giving up 3 points, which I think they could cover against Washington. The problem is with Washington, when they have Heineke and he's throwing to McLaurin and they're connecting, they can put up points. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to avoid the points. The Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings will still win, though.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't make a primetime error, but he's playing in the morning slot anyway, so I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah. And then last one on my 14 parlay here, I got the Chargers beating the Falcons. This is kind of a weird game because both the Falcons are coming up. I mean, they're not coming up, but they're solid. They're solid.
They're supposed to be a team that was tanking this year for a high draft pick for a quarterback next season, but they're exceeding expectations.
It's like they're hanging on to the edge of the cliff and still pulling themselves up somehow. Very slowly.
I would like to point out the Falcons have a very good, strong running game, and the Chargers have a very weak run defense.
You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. The reason why I'm going with the Chargers, though, is that Herbert needs to keep his offense rolling, and this is kind of like one of those make or break situations where he can put up 30 plus, 40 plus points against this defense.
They're coming off a bye too.
Secondary, yeah. So it should be a good game, but I'm taking the Chargers.
The points or just a win outright?
No, I'm not taking the points. It's just win outright. Okay. I think once again that was a pretty close one. I think it was 2.5.
3 points.
3? Yeah.
3 points.
Yeah, I'd rather just. I'm a money line guy. That being said, New York Jets plus 11.5, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings, and the Chargers all to win. I put $40 on this one. I'm feeling pretty damn confident. It's about pay me about $140 according to this. So let's go. That's your shark bet of the week.
Shark bet, the shark chomp bet of the week.
Baby shark,
baby shark.
Another copyright.
Another one.
There
was another one right there. Oh shit.
Yeah, this is we got to end this before we
get canceled.
Before we're getting too much, yeah. All right, so anyways, guys, thanks for joining us again. Week 9 in the NFL, a little bit of NBA at the beginning. If you want to hear more or less of something, please leave a comment. Let us know. Make sure you tell us when you would like us to release these videos. Follow us, subscribe. We're on YouTube, obviously, at Opinions Mostly. We're thinking about doing a TikTok here pretty soon. Maybe get into that. And maybe
we are.
Instagram. Well, I know.
You are.
You know, we don't have a marketing guy yet, so we're accepting a magic. Well, okay. Oh my god. Sorry, PC. We don't have a marketing person yet, so if you're interested, we don't pay anything except for high fives, and you get to be in our text message thread. Yeah, notoriety. You can also email us at opinionsmostlypodcast@gmail.com with all your pressing questions. I'll post up a FanDuel link. Make sure you sign up with it. We both get $50, and we can both win some moolah.
How much money, Nick?
What's up?
How much money are we talking?
Oh, bro, infinite money, dude. We're gonna put down like $1 million bet. We're gonna hit it.
Yeah, let it ride.
Let it ride. Yeah, oh god, he's like, sir,
you never get off the table if you're hot. All right, when you win one, you're hot. You go for that second, let it ride.
Like it was Austin Powers, like, sir, you have a 20. He's like, hit me. No.
Oh, that's Family Guy.
No, that was Austin Powers, bro.
No, that's Family Guy.
That's Austin Powers.
Hit me.
No, because hit me. Okay, whatever. I know it's Austin Powers. Hey, it's good hanging out with you guys. We love you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Go Pack Go.